Hey YouTube, Hiken here. Today we'll be going over SacredField. Uh, so what is SacredField? It's one of the few Legion events. As you can see, my Legion's currently sleeping. It's one of the few Legion events where there's 9 bosses. You go up there, try and hit as much damage as you can. The top 3 Legions get an EP reward. The first getting the most, second getting the second, and the third getting the third highest. If you get 4th, you don't get anything. So really, it's paramount that you try and hit the top 3. I have got a new mic, so you're probably going to notice I'm leaning in towards my left a bit more. But let's see if that helps actually. Eyesight. But yeah, so what we're going to try and do is get top 3, ideally rank 1. You know, if we don't hit rank 1, we don't hit rank 1. That's not the end of the world, but that's the plan. So going into this, things you want to be looking out for, make sure you're wearing your damage gears. If you have 2 sets of gears, I personally don't on this account, but you might have VP gears and damage gears, so make sure you're wearing your damage gears. Make sure, you know, everything that's going to do you some good DPS, like your pets. If you have, I know people have like 2 sets of pets, whether they're BP pets or DPS pets, so make sure you've got your attack gift pets on. And just try and maximize your damage as much as possible. So the event starts in 3 minutes, so you can't see the timer on the top of the screen because just of the way I position my face cam. But, you know, I seem to move my face cam every stream now because it's always blocking something, so let's just block the map / timer. Right. There is the odd time where this event actually bugs out. We can pray for a bug. I don't know if the TQ gods are going to ever send us a bug, but what a bug means is 2 bosses will spawn, or 3 bosses, like a multiple number of bosses will spawn. Normally in one location there's a single boss. There is a chance for a second boss to spawn. It's literally a bug. I don't know how to trigger it. I wish I did, because I would totally abuse it, but it does happen, and it seems to never happen for me. So, like, everyone around me seems to get a bugged boss except me, and it's the most frustrating thing, because if someone has 2 bosses and they're doing AoE skills, that one skill is hitting twice as much damage all of a sudden. So when you're trying to aim to be the top damage dealer, naturally that doesn't really work out so well for you. So I have lost many of these, or at least come in 2nd or 3rd, because of bugged bosses. I'm hoping TQ fix that, so either no one gets it or only I get it because TQ loves me. No, let's just keep it fair and hope no one gets it. Normally you can tell who's got the bug boss as well, because if their damage is astronomically high, in most cases, our DPS as a Legion is good enough to take 1st or 2nd. It'd be quite close. Legendary have about 30-ish members, 20 plus at least, I'd say, in that region. So naturally they take very high DPS. Cassie Langer, again, they've got quite a few members, looking about 10 to 15, I'd say. Again, so you'd expect their DPS to be high. Wei Jiao, I'm probably saying all these names wrong, by the way. I'm sorry if they're not pronounced as intended. But they have fewer members. I think they have less than 10. But the difference is they all have very high divine fires. And then there's Akatsuki, who don't really show up as much in these events. But they're like your top 5 that would be competing. I don't think anyone... Maybe Born to Kill, they're actually quite new, so I don't know much about them. But yeah, they're also a Legion. In the most cases, it's probably going to be Legendary, us, Cassie, or Wei Jiao in the top 3. Oh, there we go, we're in. So I can already tell you that we have a single boss. If there was a double boss, you would see the name twice. So we definitely have just the one. There we go, and we just try and get as much damage out. I personally like to come to raid first. Reason is he's probably the weakest of the bosses, so he's quite quick to kill. So I think raid is probably the best to come to. So let's just try and get all the damage up. One thing I don't know, and maybe someone does know, is there bosses that take more magic damage or more physical damage? Because if you're like a paladin or a necro, it might be good to try and locate a boss that just takes more magical damage as opposed to physical. Again, I'm not 100% sure that exists, but if that is a mechanic, please do let me know. It'd be nice to know for future. It'd also be nice for everyone to know as well, so we can really min-max the damages. So we're gonna have to wait for our skill rotation. Kind of downside of paladin is you're always waiting for your skill rotation. Right, so we do the pop, we get that out, and that out. Cool. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna have a look at where we are as a legion. So if we go into the legion damage rankings, so Kawaii is rank 1 with legendary in at 4th. That's really low for legendary. That's not normally their damage. They must have a lot of offline. Let's just also make sure that our star power is correct, because I think our star power is wrong. I'm willing to sacrifice a bit of my damage now as I... Oh, it's so slow. Right. Yeah, so our star power is actually all wrong for this. Do that. Cool. Right, now let's do that. So that this should increase our damage just a little bit. It's something I always like to do, is play with my skills. I should have done it beforehand while I was doing all my checks. I clearly forgot. That's normal, it's human. Right, let's try and maximize our damage. So the top, I think, the game claims it's 100 players, but I know the top few players get an additional EP reward. So whoever finishes first within your legion gets more EPs than, let's say, someone that finishes in the middle. So let's say everyone in the legion got 100 EPs. The top 3 within your legion would also get a bonus bit of EPs, whether it's just 20, 30, 100, depends. Be interesting to know who's actually hitting damage right now. So we do have Soul Eater, Precisely, Hoax, Veil. So there is 6 of us. We're slowly growing. So you can see sort of the damages. We also had a period where we weren't doing DPS, which is bad, since I'm meant to be the main DPSer in the Legion. But, oh, it's fine. We can have a look at the Legion rankings again. So it's nice to have a look. One thing I would ask TQ to fix is make this update live, because it's really frustrating clicking on it and waiting and then realizing that's not going up live. So that's not the actual numbers now. That's the numbers from when I clicked it. Got to keep hydrated. Right. There isn't a way to refresh that, unfortunately, so you have to just kind of go back, click it again, and see that we are just in the lead. It looks like Wage Out's probably going to overtake us today. But it is what it is. That little bit of DPS loss in the middle probably didn't help. Right. There's a good chance that we can catch up on overthrow this once we get to the next boss. We will see. Let's see. So 10 more minutes of SacredField. We've got 10 minutes more damage to do. For a paladin, that's the best part of 10 full rotations of DPS. I'm going to try and wait for my actual rotation so it all lines up again. I screwed up last time. I'd rather have it in rotation like so. There we go. kind of pop them and then I forget. Let's just keep going. So as you can see, damage makes it's all about building DPS for events like this. This is why in my other videos where I talk about make sure your damage is high, with an EP reward, you're already looking at, if you want to get stronger, you need EPs. That's the truth and the fact of the matter. So if you want EPs, then you need to do damage so that you can gain EPs. Who's here? Who Veil's here? Sweet. Alright, so let's wait for our rotation. Here we are. Again, there's not really too much dodging or kiting in this area. Mostly because we have Necros and Shadow Knights just keeping them in check. I'd be interested to see how cheap his gold is. Ooh, 290. Gold prices are dropping pretty fast in this server. Probably no thanks to me, but we should probably have a look at see the Legion damage is like. If we go here, so you can see where Xiao has actually just overtaken us, probably because of the boss swap. Legendary is catching up to Keisai, so maybe Rexon is around now. We really need to try and min-max the hell out of this so that we can get first. We can look at our personal damage as well, see what we're doing. I'm hoping we've hit close to the 1 million mark. Oh no, we're only 500,000. Still doing alright. Still doing just over double anyone else in the Legion. Ideally we want to be hitting more. Again, we don't have the Wukong and we don't have the Ruby on this account. So that's a big damage deficit because those two pets would absolutely do very well for damage for us. Other things that would boost our damage, we've not maxed our necklace. I could probably afford a higher anima as well, so get to the 6k AM attack at some point. We're also missing one wind attribute element from our goddess. Let's move a little. See where we are damage wise, and Kawaii is on top, so we are taking over slowly. Oh, forgot my rotation. That's really bad. So I need to not forget my skills. It's huge, and you can see legendary is catching up very quickly. The last 5 minutes are going to be very close. You can tell. So rank 1 and 2 are going to compete. Rank 3 and 4 are going to compete. Hopefully we'll get first. If we do, we'll get a bunch of EPs and I can show you just how much you make. Bearing in mind that we're only 6 people as well, we'll make a fair bit, which is really, really good. Let me just sit properly in my chair. Right. Sundays are great. You've got SacredField, you've got Evil Abyss, and you've got Class PK Tournament. All things I'm hoping to show you guys. So I'll be streaming again at 8 PM server time. So within the next hour. And then an hour after that as well. May as well show you guys as many PK and fun sort of kill events as. Unfortunately, this isn't like a PK event, but you know, damage is fun too. Let's see if we've got the full rotation coming up. Let's pop. That one. Last skill. There we go. Again, let's look at the Legion damage rankings. So we are pulling ahead. Annoyingly, not by much. It's very close. And Legendary have taken Casey. So, and Born to Kill, they're really not that bad. Like, as a 5th, they're not too weak. Or at least they're not as weak as I thought they were. It's fine. Just keep pushing. Let's see. There's 3 minutes remaining, so cannot be slacking now. I do like Tissa for just how tanky she is. You can kind of sit here for ages. I mean, none of our damage is high enough. I know in Elysium, we can burn through Tissa. We actually kill sort of the whole left side. We kill 3 bosses. This one's the 4th. And then we're all kind of focusing on the middle. So we get close to killing 5 bosses in Elysium right now. You know, if we get a little bit stronger, maybe we could push 6. Over here, we can only just do the 2. And it's barely, like, we won't actually kill this, so it'll be actually 1.5, but... We also do have a lot more members in Elysium. We get close to 12 online. Right. Just keep going. Sort of in the last minute, I'm going to try and check where we are as a Legion, because if we could take rank 1, that would be absolutely solid. As tempted as I am to open some booths and have a look at what's going on, I know how close this damage is, so I cannot be wasting time. Right. 30 more seconds. Should probably be a good time to look. I want to say we're opening a bit of a lead, but that if I just switch off for even a second, I know that's going to be taken away from us. So keep pushing, keep going. Let's see. Going into the last minute, we'll refresh it again. Yeah, so you can see Wedge Out are definitely not letting up. They're definitely pushing. Legendary are starting to pull ahead a fair bit. We'll check again in the last sort of 10 seconds. If we've got this sort of lead in the last 10 seconds, then it's probably ours for the taking. But I think if we were to give up sort of now, they'd overtake us. 30 seconds is enough time to make up that sort of damage. But, yeah. Cool. Sort of 10 seconds is about to approach us. Cast the last spell and then... Right, let's see. Yeah, I'd say we've won this now. So first, second, third has now been locked in with Kawaii, Wage Out, and Legendary. Come to the NPC, claim your personal reward. Just give it star points. Legion damage, that's how it ended. And personally, we did finish on the 1 million mark, which is absolutely brilliant. That's where I want to be. It's probably 1 billion, isn't it? But yeah, we won't go into that. Alright, that's annoying. So there isn't actually a Genesis box here. But you can get Infernals. I mean, I'll let Val know. Oh, actually, how much EPs did we win? 467. So that's 467 EPs for getting in first and first DPS. So I'd say the rest of the Legion probably got around 300. But that's, that's more than enough, let's be honest. Yawn, yawn, yawn. Is Rexon around? No. Smiley face. Let's get 467, right? Yeah, not lying. Let's see what Veil's on, actually. So he's one person I'm keeping a close eye on. Infernal. So where I see it is, if you're in sort of Veil's position where you've got 4 Universals, 2 Genesis, you could opt to take these. I would probably take 1, not all 3, because it's a bit of a gamble. I'd say an Infernal box is probably worth about 500 EPs. So you'd be taking a loss if you were to buy it and then pull an Infernal. But if you pull a Genesis, you're looking at like 1,000 plus EPs. And Genesis is sort of endgame gear. For that reason, I recommend, like, if you pull a Genesis, you're really just absolutely lucky, and that's going to be so goddamn worth it. But you could just wait, and Evil Abyss is around the corner. For Evil Abyss, you're going to get a guaranteed Genesis for just 1,800. Yeah, I guess you have 50-50 chance with 900 piece, but do you do 900 a piece and get a 50-50 chance, or do you not? That's the hard question. Let's have a look at some of the weapon souls, but I've actually not seen the Paladin weapon souls. I mean, I'm not a fan of the Paladin weapon souls. That one's not too bad. Arctic Wand. Like, I like that, but then I think I need a new garment. Something like so. That's a nice garment. I need to get cool garments like this. How do I get cool garments? TQ, can I have all the cool garments, please? Oh, that's a nice one. cherry tender. That'll actually look really nice with that weapon style. Anyone else think so? Oh no! All right, you're actually watching the stream. Yeah, like I think within your position, you can opt to take one. I will do the math for that, and I will return you some EPs. 539, 467. So I do owe you 72 EPs, but that's cool. Let's do that. Like I want to see you get stronger. Gotta find you now. That's the hard part. Yeah, sure. That's fine as well. We could go after Abyss, no problem. We should type that. Right. And let's pray that Vale actually pulls off a beautiful Genesis. Let me give us EPs. Otherwise, I'll come off and completely forget, and then be the end of the world. That's just going to whisper. Difference. I know you're watching. I'm just, you know what you're watching. You know what that is. That's the difference between what we would have won and then what you spent. Because now we get a bit of bonus EPs when you buy. As you can tell, I'm not too fussed for EPs. I always seem to have a lot, but then I always used to spend a lot. So. I spend way too much EPs. Nirvana Flame. It's nothing good. Just decompose. Let's hope we can pull off a Genesis 2. I think we can actually today. Looking at my bank, I have. Well, with the reset coming, I'd have about 20 short. I'd be 20 short of a Genesis 2. Maybe we can pull one in Thunder as well if we're lucky. So we can get a good Genesis. Really, really trying to gun for this one here. I want like a 450 crit attack. That would, the golden 450 crit attack. That would be divine. Yeah, just 18k. Nothing too crazy. So one thing I'm going to be doing is pushing that to 40k at some point. Because I want to buy a new anima. So if you go into the anima section and go into 14, I'm looking at buying an anima 14. That'd be, the BP buff is only 4. So it's not for the BP, but it's more for the attribute buff, so an extra 3%. I think that would be absolutely brilliant. 3% more attack would benefit me big time. And I'd also get to flex a 14 anima. One day I'd want a 20 anima, but how much is the pre-order on a 20 anima? Right, so 16 costs 168, and that's. At that point, it just doesn't feel that worth it. The BP to bonus attack to EP ratio, you could be doing so much. Like, there's so much you're missing. And then if you were to push to 20s, yeah, the 60% attribute isn't bad, and the 80 BP isn't bad, like on one gear. Imagine you had, 6 of them, one for each gear piece. That's 80 times 6. Like, that's 80 times 6. I don't want to do the math. So it's 480 BP. that's ridiculous numbers of BP you'd get if you had 6 of those. But then I think the minimum we clicked on 19. The minimum pre-order on these is 2.6 million EPs. So 2.6 million EPs. That's ridiculous. And there's 10 people that have put 2.6 million EPs as an offer there. That's an unreal amount. Right. Just make sure my Thunder team's ready for after Evil Abyss. Right. Let's do this. Okay. Oh, there we go. That's the reward. So there you go. 539 EPs because Vale got a box. So that's put us close to 19. Like today we'll go past 19,000 EPs, which is absolutely fun. Fun. Man, if I had 2.6 million EPs, I'd need that times 6. So I'd say I'd need like 15 million EPs to just get all the Genesises done, and then have some to like then work on pets and stuff to be like rank 1, like super rank 1. And even then, that's a ridiculous amount. I don't think anyone's hitting that. Actually, I say that, and I've seen screenshots of people with like 90 mil EPs. I don't know how legit they are, but I have seen a screenshot. Infernal's not too bad. It is what it is. I'm sorry, Vale. I feel like I baited you there. See, if you got a Genesis, I'd be like, yeah, we're the best. And then it's like, when you get Infernal, I'm like, oh, damn. I feel like I screwed up. I'm a bad mentor. But, yeah, I'd definitely look at, like, with 2 Genesis right now, I'd look at picking up another Genesis from Evil Abyss. And then from then on, maybe we'll try and do some Thunder runs and get you some Genesis that way. So you don't have to spend as much EPs on things. But, yeah, we'll see what happens. Right, I'm going to come off. I've got 30 minutes break where I'm probably going to watch some Money Heist and get some food as well. And then I'll be back for Evil Abyss. So I'll talk to you boys later. And girls. I'll talk to everyone later. Bye.